What is going on, Gooners, and welcome back to Gunners Talk Daily. Now look, yes, Saturday night hurt. Losing a Champions League final on penalties is one of the most painful ways a football season can possibly end. 4-3 on penalties to Paris Saint-Germain after everything this squad went through to get to Budapest. That one is going to sting for a while. But here is the thing, and I need every single Arsenal fan watching this to hear it clearly. What this club just achieved in the 2025-26 season is nothing short of historic. Premier League champions for the first time in 22 years. Champions League finalists, the best Arsenal season in over 2 decades. And now, the rebuild starts. The next chapter begins. And based on everything that is coming out right now, Mikel Arteta and this football club are not done. Not even close, because Fabrizio Romano, the most connected transfer journalist on the planet, has just confirmed that at least 3 signings are almost guaranteed this summer, with potentially even more depending on how the exits play out. David Ornstein is saying Arsenal are free to spend heavily. The Daily Mail are reporting an ambitious window targeting at least 4 areas of improvement, and the BBC have dropped a comprehensive breakdown of Arsenal's entire summer blueprint. So today, we are going through all of it. The incomings, the outgoings, the contract situations, the transfer targets. Everything you need to know about what Arsenal's squad is going to look like next season. This is going to be a long one. Get comfortable. Let's go. Before we even get into transfers, the single most important piece of business Arsenal need to conduct this summer has nothing to do with a player signing. It is about keeping the man in the dugout. Mikel Arteta's current contract expires at the end of next season, and Arsenal's absolute #1 priority this summer is to sit him down and get that deal extended. Now, the good news. BBC Sport are reporting that talks over fresh terms were paused during the run-in so the club could focus entirely on the football. With the season now over, those conversations are going to restart immediately, and crucially, sources are telling the BBC that there was already positive progress during the initial conversations. There is expectation within the Emirates that it is a matter of when, not if, Arteta signs a new deal. Arsenal co-chair Josh Kroenke has been very clear publicly. He said, and I am paraphrasing, that keeping Mikel around is an utmost priority, and that the good news for Arsenal fans is that Arteta is genuinely enjoying the project. That is not the language of a man who thinks his manager is about to walk. Now here is the interesting part, the financial side. Arteta currently earns £10 million a season, plus a further £5 million upon Champions League qualification. His new deal is expected to be a minimum of 3 years, and it would make him the highest paid manager in England. For context, Pep Guardiola's deal at Manchester City was worth a minimum of £20 million a season. Arteta's new contract would move him significantly closer to that figure. After what he has just achieved, winning the league, reaching a Champions League final, you cannot argue with that. He has earned every penny. Nothing will be finalised before Arteta returns from his holiday, but this one is expected to get done, and get done well before the start of next season. Right, now let's get into the transfers, because this is where it gets really exciting. Fabrizio Romano posted on X this week, confirming that Arsenal have already started working and planning for their summer signings. His exact words, at least 3 signings are expected, and there could be even more based on exits. He confirmed the top priority is a winger. A midfielder and a right-back are also described as almost guaranteed, and the striker situation is described as one to follow. David Ornstein, meanwhile, was on TNT Sports after the final and broke down what Arsenal need. He said the number 9 situation is interesting, specifically referencing Victor Gyökeres, who started the season as the big statement signing and ended it being dropped to the bench for the Champions League final. He confirmed that a left-sided attacking addition is a big priority, something the club have been looking at for years, and this could be the summer they finally go for it. He also confirmed Arsenal want a 6'8" type midfielder and need to strengthen at right-back. And Ornstein added something that will excite every Arsenal fan. He said when you tally up everything Arsenal have to do this summer, the outlay in the market from last summer, which was £250 million, could be repeated or even exceeded. Read that again, £250 million. Repeated or exceeded. Arsenal mean business. Let's start with the top priority, the left-sided attacker that Arsenal have been hunting for years. Three names are firmly on the shortlist according to BBC Sport, and they could not be more different in terms of profile, age and price. First, Morgan Rogers of Aston Villa. The 23-year-old was the driving force behind one of Villa's best ever seasons, helping Unai Emery's side qualify for the Champions League and win the Europa League while chipping in with 14 goals and 12 assists across all competitions. That is an extraordinary contribution. Arteta has personally sanctioned a move for Rodgers. Preliminary talks with the players' representatives have already taken place. And this is the key bit, Rodgers himself is open to joining Arsenal. He wants this move. The BBC are confirming that. Rodgers can also operate from the left, and his versatility to play centrally or wide gives Arteta incredible tactical flexibility. The complication? Rodgers is also being tracked by Chelsea and Manchester United. This is going to be a competitive chase. And the price tag? Expected to be in excess of £80 million. There are also questions internally at Arsenal about whether Rodgers is truly a priority given that Odegaard and Eze can already operate in central attacking areas. But with Rodgers able to play from the left, which is the specific position Arsenal desperately need to strengthen, those doubts are being outweighed by the positives. The interest is genuine and the talks have already started. Second name, Eli Jr. Krupi of Bournemouth. Now, if you have not been following this kid closely, let me give you the headline. He is 19 years old, and he scored 13 Premier League goals this season. 13. In his debut top-flight campaign as a teenager. That is a record for a teenage debutant in the Premier League. Absolutely staggering. Arsenal have already explored this option seriously, and you can completely understand why. At 19, if you get this right, you are talking about a player who could be the foundation of Arsenal's attack for the next decade. He is also expected to cost in excess of £80 million. Third name, and this is the dream signing, Julian Alvarez of Atletico Madrid, the Argentina World Cup winner, one of the best forwards in world football, Arsenal's dream signing for the forward position. However, the obstacles here are significant. Barcelona have a serious interest in Alvarez too, and Atletico are reportedly valuing him at over £120 million. That is an enormous fee. Whether Arsenal are willing to go to that level for a single player, even for someone of Alvarez's quality, remains to be seen. But the fact that his name is on the list tells you everything about the ambition at this football club right now. Now let's talk midfield. And this one is genuinely complicated. Arsenal want to add what Ornstein describes as a 6'8" type midfielder, someone who can both protect the defence and affect the game going forward. West Ham's Mateus Fernandes has been discussed as an option. The Portuguese midfielder is expected to leave West Ham following their relegation to the Championship, and his profile has been noted by Arsenal's recruitment team. But here is the fascinating subplot, and it could save Arsenal a lot of money. Miles Lewis-Skelly. The 19-year-old who emerged from nowhere in the second half of the season and absolutely transformed Arsenal's midfield. The club had actually been considering listening to offers for Lewis-Skelly this summer, believing his homegrown status would generate significant transfer revenue. But his brilliant end-of-season form, culminating in a starring role in the Champions League final itself, has caused a serious rethink. Arsenal are now reconsidering whether selling him makes any sense at all. And honestly, good. This kid is special. Why would you sell him? If Arsenal decide to keep Lewis-Skelly, and it is looking increasingly like they will, that potentially reduces the urgency of spending big in midfield. But a quality addition alongside him and Rice is still very much on the agenda. The right-back situation at Arsenal has been a problem all season, and it needs addressing this summer. Ben White's serious knee injury, Jurrien Timber's ongoing fitness concerns. It has been a constant headache for Arteta. The club have been looking at Tino Livramento of Newcastle United as a versatile option to bolster the squad. The 23-year-old fits the profile of what Arsenal are looking for. Young, technically sound, capable of playing on either side. The concern is that Livramento has had an injury-disrupted campaign himself, which will require careful assessment. This position is described as one to watch, and Romano has confirmed it is almost guaranteed that Arsenal will make a move here this summer. On the subject of right-backs, there is also a very significant contract update. Arsenal have already started talks with Jurrien Timber over a new deal, and BBC Sport are reporting that those discussions are heading towards a conclusion. Given the season Timber has had, fighting back from injury to be available for the Champions League final, tying him down long-term is absolutely the right move. And it is not just Timber. Arsenal have also signalled their intention to open talks with Declan Rice over a contract extension. The England midfielder has been absolutely outstanding since joining from West Ham, and he is the heartbeat of everything Arsenal do. Getting Rice tied down for the long term, alongside Arteta's own new deal and Timber's renewal, is a clear statement of intent about where this club is heading. Now, and this is equally important, Arsenal cannot just spend. They need to raise funds too, and the Daily Mail are reporting that 4 stalwarts could all depart this summer. Gabriel Martinelli, the Brazilian winger, has lost his starting place and has gone from European specialist to a peripheral figure. He has barely scored since January. The club are open to offers. Leandro Trossard, the Belgian's contract has just 1 year remaining. Arsenal are listening to offers. Despite his excellent form at various points this season, the club may decide now is the time to cash in rather than lose him for nothing next summer. Ben White, the England right-back, has had a devastating end to his season with a serious knee injury. Arsenal are set to listen to offers, though his fitness situation will need to be resolved first. Gabriel Jesus, the Brazilian striker, has been at the Emirates for a few years now and has never truly nailed down the number 9 role. His contract runs until June 2027, and David Ornstein has confirmed that Arsenal are demanding between £18 and £20 million for him. Multiple clubs have already made inquiries. He can go, but Arsenal are not doing a cheap sale. Also potentially available, Christian Norgård, Fabio Vieira, Rice Nelson, and academy graduate Ethan Nwaneri, who has returned from a loan spell at Marseille with his future unclear. The club are giving serious consideration to a homegrown sale this summer, which would represent pure profit on the balance sheet. Jakub Kiwior has already been sold to Porto for £14.7 million, so the exits have already begun. And interestingly, Piero Hincapié, who impressed in the Champions League final on Saturday, has attracted interest from Barcelona. Whether Arsenal would be willing to sell him so soon after he played a key role in reaching the final remains to be seen. It is not all about the big money signings either, because Arsenal are also thinking long-term. The club have already made a move for Leicester City's 16-year-old forward Jeremy Monga, who is considered one of the leading young prospects in English football. Monga is understood to be open to joining Arsenal. A number of clubs have been courting him, and this is exactly the kind of forward-thinking recruitment that Arteta's Arsenal have become known for. And finally, let's address the elephant in the room that David Ornstein flagged directly after the final. Victor Gyökeres. 21 goals in his first season at Arsenal. A relentless, tireless number 9 who was absolutely pivotal in getting this club to a Champions League final, and yet he was benched for the final itself. Ornstein said, "A penny for the thoughts of Victor Gyökeres tonight." And honestly, it is a fair point. What does that substitution say about where Gyökeres stands in Arteta's thinking? Is he the long-term answer at centre-forward, or does Arsenal still need to find their definitive number 9? Romano has confirmed that the striker's situation is to follow, meaning Arsenal have not made a final decision on that position yet. With Jesus likely to leave and question marks around Gyökeres' role, this could be one of the biggest storylines of the entire summer. So here is where Arsenal stand heading into the summer of 2026. Arteta's new contract, imminent and expected to make him the highest paid manager in England. At least 3 signings confirmed by Romano, a top winger, a midfielder and a right-back. The dream targets are Morgan Rogers, Eli Junior Krupi or Julian Alvarez up front, with Tino Livramento at right-back. Miles Lewis-Skelly could stay after his brilliant end-of-season form. Timber and Rice both getting new contracts. And a host of exits, Martinelli, Trossard, White, Jesus and potentially others, to fund the whole thing. This is a club that just won the Premier League for the first time in 22 years, reached a Champions League final, and is now planning to go even further next season. Liverpool won the league last year, and 12 months later, Arne Slot was sacked. Arteta knows the lessons of history. He is not standing still, he is already building the next version of this Arsenal team. The best is yet to come, Gooners, and I genuinely believe that. That is everything for today's video. If you enjoyed this breakdown, smash that like button and make sure you are subscribed so you do not miss a single update as this transfer window gets going. Drop your thoughts in the comments. Which signing do you want most? Rodgers, Krupi, Alvarez, who are you selling? Let me know below. I will see you in the next one.